Hi, I'm Valder Beebe. I'm the host and the visionary of the Valder Beebe Show's God Talk. Some people talk to God and others believe that God talks to them. Join us in conversation with authors, religious clergy, metaphysicians, and regular people like you and I and God Talk. God Talk is a podcast available on FM radio, Roku TV, and online. Subscribe at ValderBeebeShow.com. You can also subscribe at YouTube.com/ValderBeebeShow. Join the conversation of God Talk. I'll see you there.
Happy New Year, Valder. Thank you for having me.
Well, we've had the biggest job turnover. I don't know if it's in the history of the job market, but, people are saying, people are changing their careers. They're leaving the workforce. Baby boomers especially, they're just going home. Just leave me alone. What's going on with this big change that's going on?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, in a word, the pandemic. We have been in an unprecedented time for many of us, and these last 2 years have been especially difficult for a lot of us. And what it's done for us is it's afforded us this opportunity to really reassess and reevaluate what is next for us, what's important, right? What are the values that we now want to pursue? So we've been seeing, burnout, high levels of burnout even before the pandemic, right? So this time is really that pause button that we get to really hit and just reassess what's important. So whether that's starting new business, changing careers, changing a job title, or even taking on more responsibilities, many of us are craving this meaningful type of change right now.
I think you're onto something. We have adult children, and my daughter, she's in her early 30s, and she is getting her life ready for retirement. She doesn't want to work like we did. She wants to retire. And I'm thinking that's incredible for her to even have that thought. So why are people thinking about or where do we start thinking about these big life changes?
Yeah, absolutely. We have to first normalize that change can be especially difficult, especially if you're starting something new, right? So starting something new for the first time, we prefer to stay in our comfort zone most times, right? So really embracing that, change is sometimes the most powerful thing that you can do for your life and in your career, right? So it's really reminding yourself to have a healthy level of inspiration, grit, patience with yourself, right? And really sort of being clear on what's the change that you want to create for your career. It's also about having a healthy dose of planning and organization. That is super critical to any sort of meaningful change, as we're thinking about, the support systems and the structures that we need to actually carry out those goals and that intention. So there's so many ways that we can get organized and plan around the career goals that we want to have for ourselves. One of my favorite productivity tools is Evernote. I've used Evernote many, many times throughout my career just to keep me structured and organized. But I really love the app because it allows you to write down any inspiration, any ideas. If you're pursuing, let's say, a career change, you're maybe changing job titles, right? So you may want to keep track of, different job titles that appeal to you. You can also start to track your career accomplishments. If, say, for example, you're negotiating a pay raise with your manager. So having those notes handy is really especially helpful that you can reference later. It's also about, setting new goals and intentions, right? So this app allows you to do just that. We're 12 days into a brand new year. So a lot of us are thinking about setting new goals. I know I have. This is something that I do quite regularly in my career, is setting new goals and intentions every single start of the year. So something about actually writing it down makes it more tangible and concrete. So those are some of the things we can start to think about in navigating this change.
You gave us some tips, but when people make a change, they want some things that's solid. Do you have 3 no-fail tips?
Yeah, absolutely. So great question. When we think about taking that change, what are the 3 things that we have to keep in mind? So that first thing is setting a date, right? So whether it's 6 months from now, a year from now, and you want to consider, changing your careers, changing your job title, taking on new responsibilities, whatever that might be for you, set a date, put it on the calendar. It's something about having it on the calendar that keeps you on course and keeps you on track to making those incremental steps towards that goal date. So starting with the time frame in mind. The second thing I would say is organization and planning. So that goes back to what I was mentioning earlier, by keeping track of what are the goals that you want to set for yourself and keeping consistent week over week, month over month. So I would recommend setting at least 3 to 5 tasks each week, right? No more than that. Otherwise, you risk getting into overwhelm. So to minimize overwhelm, to keep it simple, start with those 3 to 5 tasks, stay consistent, and that'll help you to incrementally chip away at those goals that you've set for yourself. And then lastly, I would say enlist help, right? So this is something that many of us struggle with. We tend to go at it alone or try to figure it out on our own. And that's one way to do it. But I promise there's a better way, and surrounding yourself with people who will keep you motivated, that will keep you accountable. So whether that's working with a coach, working with a mentor, joining new community groups, tapping into your network, surrounding yourself with people that will keep you motivated along the way and help you stay accountable to your goals.
Okay. I want to remind my audience that Ariane Hunter is an author, a speaker, a coach, and the founder of My Mentor Circle, which is an online community. Ariane, you're giving this advice. Has any of this ever impacted your life? Did you have to think about changing careers or changing your mind about a job?
1,000%. Yes. I have been in this situation. I call it a career crossroads when you're thinking about changing course in your career and anticipating what's next for you. So a lot of this comes from personal experience in navigating my own career change. And these are some of the things that I shared today that has helped me along the way. And so my hope is that it will minimize any mistakes or lessen the time that it takes to get you to your goals. But this definitely comes from a personal place for me. So I know how folks feel when making that change.
Online, where can my audience find more of this inspiration? Because you've got great information.
Absolutely. So if folks want to check out Evernote, the productivity app that I mentioned earlier, they can pop on over to their website at evernote.com. There's a free download in there once you go visit the site. And to learn a little bit more about my work as a coach and as a mentor, folks can visit me at arianehunter.com.
And thank you so very much, Ms. Hunter, for being my guest. And the beginning of the year, as you say, day 12 into the new year on the Valder Beebe Show. It's been my pleasure.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
I'm Valder Beebe. I host the Valder Beebe Show, broadcast on radio and television. And this is my phone pouch. My phone pouch is a great invention. It allows me to go hands-free, pocket-free, purse-free, even belt-free. Head on over to myphonepouch.com.